Hi, I'm EyeOnAiman, and today I want to read to you the essays that got me to Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and Duke. In this video, I want to read to you the major essays that I wrote, and in the next video, I'll read to you the supplementals that I wrote. If you didn't know, I ended up committing to Harvard, and I'm actually at Harvard right now. First off, quick plagiarism disclaimer: don't plagiarize. This is my work, so don't copy it, and don't use it as an exact template. Plagiarism is a serious crime, and if you're caught committing plagiarism, there will be serious consequences. So be honest, respectful, and most importantly, original. But with that being said, let's move on to the essays. I applied to Harvard through the Common App, and I applied to Yale, Stanford, and Duke through QuestBridge. And I submitted the same personal statement essay for both of them, but QuestBridge actually has an 800-word limit instead of a 650-word limit that the Common App has. So the QuestBridge essay has an extra paragraph in it. With that being said, I'm going to read the Common App essay first. I'm not super good at evoking emotion out of the essays that I read, but I'm going to try my best, and I'm going to read them from my monitor right here. So I answered the prompt that some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. Hours deep into battle with the legendary beast, a highly torqued berserker known as the crankshaft pulley bolt, my arms plead for respite, but my holy spear Rangaminiad, a polished steel breaker bar, refuses to penetrate the at minimum 500 foot-pound titanic aegis that is the scorched coating of rust on the bolt. Sprays of WD-40 seem only to temper the bolt, like the enchanted sword of Gryffindor growing stronger with exposure to poison. I reach for my spellbreaker, a DeWalt impact driver set to max. I am a warrior, and I do not intend to hold back. Like Excalibur, I wrench the bolt from its dreaded asylum. Extracting my treasure, I turn to the camera and flash a toothy grin. I'm EyeOnAiman, and I just showed you how to remove this stubborn crankshaft pulley bolt. Thanks for watching. I am no King Arthur. Rather, I'm starring in a YouTube video, teaching viewers how to service their cars. In other videos, I would show them how to cultivate marvelous gardens, prepare ambrosial traditional Malaysian dishes, or construct formidable wooden edifices. I may not be a hero of legend, but each of my videos feels like an enthralling fable, a part of a quest for learning that I've been journeying on since before I can remember. I started my YouTube channel, EyeOnAiman, when I was in 3rd grade. My dad picked up on my knavish proclivity towards stealing his phone to film random videos of myself, so he helped set up a YouTube channel for me. My first few videos were blurry vlogs, origami tutorials, and Pokemon trading card game guides, and I presented as clumsy, awkward, and aimless. Back then, my channel was just something to mess around with, but over the next few years, EyeOnAiman became an integral part of my identity. I cherish EyeOnAiman as my community's great library of Alexandria. In vlogs, we preserve our cultural heritage, immortalize memories of our gatherings, campouts, and parties, and share our Malaysian traditions with others. I will always remember the video where my friends attempted to speak Malay, and we all tried to say, "Ow, kucing telah mencakar saya," which meant, "Ow, the cat just scratched me." My sister and I will always remember the video where we sampled the Malaysian king of fruits, durian, and had fun agonizing over its terrible taste. And I am grateful for the fact that no matter where my siblings or friends go in life, we can always find our roots through the videos that we saved on EyeOnAiman. Our Malaysian community has always been there for my family. When my dad lost his job, my parents were stretched thinly, emotionally and financially, to support 7 children. My siblings could not afford books for studying, could not attain up-to-date technology, and could not pursue their passions for music or sports. We could barely afford food and clothing, and we would have lost the house without the generosity of family friends who donated clothes, money, and time to support us. I will never forget their kindness, and I owe it to my community to reciprocate that same kindness to others. Through EyeOnAiman, I want to share myself with others. I want to honor my stalwart community, show people my life experiences, and make those experiences more accessible to others. Nowadays, I use the filmmaking skills I developed through EyeOnAiman to create videos for the Yale Peabody Museum of Natural History, to expose younger audience to science topics ranging from geology to invertebrate paleontology. And in the future, I hope to continue bringing EyeOnAiman with me wherever I go. I want to continue helping, educating, and inspiring people, because while we may not be heroes of prophecy slaying crankshaft pulley bolts left and right, everyone has fought their own battles, everyone has conquered their own beasts, and everyone has an important story to tell. Okay, so that was my essay, and there's an excerpt from the QuestBridge that I took out, which was, through EyeOnAiman, I want to help people. I want to give people the courage to overcome barriers they believe are impenetrable. My age did not stop me from doing battle with fearsome mechanical monsters hidden under the car hood, and I want to help people find their own true potential, in spite of the limitations that they place on themselves, as I did with my age. Through EyeOnAiman, I want to educate people. My dad taught me many important technical skills, primarily car repair, but also plumbing maintenance, electrical servicing, and computer troubleshooting. Mechanical passions of mine that others would benefit from learning. Through EyeOnAiman, I want to share myself with others. I want to honor my stalwart community. I want to make an impact on people. I want to show people my life experiences, and I want to make those experiences more accessible to people. Alright, so I want to talk about why I think the essay worked. Now, I don't know what effect that my essay had on the admissions officers that read it, but these are the insights that I have. So first off, my essay started out with a very strong hook. It engaged the readers with a story. And this is a common strategy that a lot of writers use in order to pull the readers into what they're writing. And in my case, my hook is about my encounter with trying to take a crankshaft pulley bolt out of a car. And I do actually have that video on that. Go check that out. And I describe it as sort of like a hero tale. A hero trying to fight a beast. But in this case, the beast is that bolt. And I use a DeWalt impact driver as my Excalibur to pull it out. And so it uses strong and fantastical vocabulary, and so from this hook you can kind of tell that I'm engaged with like fantasy elements and stories and epics. And I also make a lot of allusions to like sort of Gryffindor, Rongominiac, Excalibur, King Arthur, Great Library of Alexandria, and you can tell from this, like, I love fantasy. And I also make a reference to Guild Wars 2. But anyway, the tone does start out very epic. With talking about like quest and enthralling fable and stuff like that. But I do want to say to you guys, you don't need to, and you probably shouldn't, embellish your writing. You want your authentic voice to come out. And often your authentic voice can get lost in trying to use vocabulary that you wouldn't use, or might not fit the situation, or is kind of incongruous with the story that you're telling. In my case, this is my authentic voice, but it also relates to the takeaway at the end that not everyone has to be a hero to live their own tale. Obviously, there's also good grammar, spelling, and punctuation. This is very important. Like, you want to make sure that your reader can get through the entire essay without like hitting a hitch. They're like, huh, that sentence seemed formatted weird, or that sentence had weird punctuation. And I worked with teachers and friends in order to work out those kinks to prevent those GSB errors from popping up. And in addition, I use a lot of examples from actual videos that I will link if you're interested in watching them. And I guess I kind of like go down the checklist of everything that you need out of a personal statement. First off, I explain where I came from with my Malaysian community and my family. I explain who I am personality-wise. And this is related to the background. But personality-wise also means stating your dreams, your desires, and your potential future. So I want to help people by teaching them, and I want to make experiences more accessible to other people. And through that, I also implicitly show what I can offer to the college. And so in my case, what I offer to the college is sort of this documentarianness that I have. I say I hope to continue bringing EyeOnAiman with me wherever I go. And that means including college. So while I'm at their college, I'll continue doing YouTube videos to help teach people about whatever I may encounter. And another thing I want to recognize is that there are still many things that you can improve with your essay. So never think that your essay is perfect. Some people might see things that you don't. In my case, I think that last paragraph where it says, everyone has fought their own battles, everyone has conquered their own beasts, and everyone has an important story to tell. I like that ending, but I think it can fall flat on its face. It just comes off as like, yeah, everyone has their own life. Just because we're not heroes doesn't mean that we don't have important stories. And for some reason, the way that reads just comes off flat to me. Like, it doesn't have the impact that I want. And of course, impact is really important when you want to make an impression to the reader. And another thing is, like, usually in personal statements, people like to see like an evolution. Like, here's who I was, and here are the experiences that changed me for the better. And this is where I am now as a better person, and here's my reflection on what I've learned with my experiences. But I don't really have that progression in my essay. And so you can recognize these things with your essay as you're writing yours, to sort of figure out how to improve yours. But yeah, that's my thoughts about my essay. There's a lot of stuff that you could say about this essay, but I just want to move on to the next one. Hi guys, it's EyeOnAiman from the future here. Just wanted to say some things that my past self did not say. First off, like, it's also a good topic subject for my essay. Like, writing about my YouTube channel is something that shows a lot of my dedication and commitment, and it's just a good story. Also, when I read about community, and I didn't really talk about this before, but like as I'm editing it and I'm really looking back over all the videos and pictures that we have, like, you can tell that I appreciate my community in the essay, and that they mean a lot to me. And so, to translate that, I guess my essay kind of demonstrates my values. And yeah, that's all I really want to mention right now. You can talk more about it in the comments down below, but yeah. What is the best way to hold a criminal accountable? As a society, we work together to ensure our collective safety and security. But what happens when people go against the grain and hurt others? The answer seems obvious. Throw them in jail. But delivering justice to criminals is more than black and white. When I was younger, I was fascinated by the law enforcement aspect of crime. My favorite show, White Collar, about an ex-con man becoming a consultant for the FBI, had concealed the horrible truths of the criminal justice system. But as I grew older, in the midst of our generation's political awakening in the Black Lives Matter movement, and as I learned in my civics classes that all people had the right to due process, I developed a sense of justice for ensuring that criminals are treated respectfully and rightfully. My first and most personally meaningful academic study of criminal justice was the Introduction to Criminal Justice course at the University of New Haven, where I learned about law enforcement, crimes, courts, and corrections. Nearly every aspect of our modern criminal justice system forced me to question every preconceived belief I had of justice. The high rates of recidivism, or reoffending, forced me to confront my ideal that every person deserves a second chance. The high cost of housing inmates forced me to reevaluate whether institutional corrections were superior to community correction methods like probation. The prison industrial complex forced me to question the existence of correctional institutions. And the conditions of inmates in prisons, jails, and halfway houses forced me to even question the existence of corrections entirely. And in that course, we watched a documentary about Rikers Island Jail, a correctional institution infested with corruption, inequality, and inhospitable conditions. Physical suffering led to emotional and mental anguish among inmates. And of all the beliefs I held before, the one that the course could not shake, was my belief that no one deserves to suffer the way that inmates did at Rikers. In fact, the documentary was what made me truly believe that we need to change our criminal justice system for the better. In the next course at UNH, Criminal Law, I gained insight into nuances of crime, statute, and legislation. But even though I enriched my understanding of law enforcement through fascinating case studies, the law-focused course content was not aimed at my passion for the just criminal process. It wasn't until my Law, Technology, and Culture course at Yale University that I fully realized the importance of understanding the law to criminal justice, where we applied our knowledge to protect supposed perpetrators of copyright infringement by invoking the principles of fair use. That course also drew attention to the fact that I could work towards criminal justice far before cases ever reached the court, by passing fairer laws. In the future, I intend to continue seeking discourse and ensuring healthy correctional systems and facilities, so I can ensure that another Rikers Island never opens. So that was essay 2 for QuestBridge. That was the last essay for QuestBridge, and I gotta say, I think it's an okay essay. I think it's not a super strong essay, but it has a question as a hook. It engages the reader that way. It's not as strong as a story, and it does make allusions in the same way that I did before, but all these allusions are kind of disconnected. Like white collar is, I just mention it. I don't really expand upon it. I mentioned the Black Lives Matter movement, but it feels like I'm plugging it in. It just feels like kind of disconnected, I guess. And it doesn't feel super cohesive. Probably the strongest part of this essay is the middle paragraph, where I talk about my course at UNH, which is really where I got my biggest exposure to criminal justice. And you can see it's weird talking about this like this, but you can see the emotion that I had while I was writing this. But then you move on to criminal law, and it feels weird to mention it, but it answers the question, how did I explore it? But it just feels like I mention it as a brief side note, and then I mentioned the law, technology, culture as a brief side note, and they're not really fully fleshed out as pathways of exploration that I took. And even the end, it just suddenly turns oh yeah, I want to pass fairer laws. It doesn't. This essay doesn't feel super cohesive. And I will say that last line though, that I don't want another Rikers Island to open. That's a good line. And it's true. But yeah, I will say this essay isn't super strong as an essay. And that it could be improved. It could be even improved in grammar, spelling, and punctuation. I even say all people had the right due process instead of the right to due process. And so yeah, that was my second essay. I don't think it was a super strong essay, but I think it was an okay essay. And so now I want to move on to my third, and this is the essay that I love the most, because it really talks about something that I want to talk about. I mean, not to say that my other ones don't, but this one holds a special place in my heart. So this is my Harvard supplemental, and the prompt was, reflect on a time when you or someone else had to act with integrity and honesty. I extremely dislike him. My eyes remain fixed on my friend's text, an admission of his false friendship with my other friend. I've seen him go out of his way to hang out with my other friend. We've known each other since 7th grade, and we're seniors now. I thought they were inseparable. Why would he delude him into thinking they were friends? All my life, I've wanted something genuine. My friend's veiled friendship instilled doubt in my own possibly tenuous relationships, and my ideal that you should only surround yourself with people you can be genuine with. I want to confront my own insecurities, criticize his disingenuity. Disingenuity. I wouldn't want him to wear a facade around me either, but I want to understand his perspective. I start by playing devil's advocate. I dismantle every perspective down to nuance, including my own, but it's not enough. I start emotional conversations with my other friends about false veneers, and dialogue draws out their hidden feelings towards their friends. They explain their reservations, expressing that their grievances are not worth starting conflicts over, but I can't take their justifications to heart. I couldn't reconcile my friends' private feelings with their actions. Only when I finally confronted my own hypocrisy, my own deference to people who've done me wrong, that I come to terms with their inconsistency. I learned to accept that disingenuity can often propagate more positive feelings than callous honesty in times where it matters. Pushing back against my friends' beliefs helped me navigate my own social skepticism. Now I understand why my friends continue to uphold their hollow friendships. It's comforting to preserve friendships in a positive light when we leave for college. But I've learned to be resolute. I used to excuse friends who treated me terribly. But after overcoming my non-combativeness, I set boundaries with others. Even though I now understand keeping up appearances, I will continue to be genuine with people, even people who deceive me, and succeed, so I can convince those people that they will find fulfillment in treating others genuinely. And I think it's important to say that I think this essay needs an addendum, because there's a lot of things that I learned after I wrote this essay that really have broadened the lessons that I've learned from this, from what I wrote about. And there's a lot of things like, I think I wrote too tersely. I said false friendship and hollow friendships, but it's more complicated than that. But I don't want to talk more about it because it's private. I will say that I guess you can tell I'm speaking genuinely here. I mean, obviously, like I say in the essay that I want to be genuine, but I guess I showed like a lot of vulnerability with the way like I explain everything, and it's hard analyzing this essay. I think I'll leave the analysis to you guys, but I really like this essay. And so, taking a step back, those were the 3 of the major essays that got me into Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and Duke. The first 2 essays were important to my QuestBridge colleges like Yale, Stanford, and Duke, and the first and the last essay were for Harvard, for my Common App. And, it's always important to recognize where a essay can be strong and where it can be improved. And so, as you guys write your essays, I want you guys to be able to recognize that. And I think I might make a video in the future on how to write a good college essay. I don't like to put tips into videos like these because I feel like videos that are about tips should be really focused on the viewer. And so far, this video has been about myself. And so I'm going to save that video for another time, and I'll see you guys there. But for now, I'm EyeOnAiman, and thanks for watching. I will hopefully do a lot more videos about like my college application process, because I feel like my journey with that has a big story to tell. But to any rising seniors, to any seniors this year who are applying for colleges, I really just want to wish you good luck on your applications, and I hope that you guys write awesome essays that are authentic to yourself and show your true self. I'll see you guys in the next video. Signing out. Peace.